Welcome everyone to Lenzerheide, this fantastic mountain bike mecca in the Swiss Alps. There are trails here for every kind of rider, dropping from an elevation of around about 1,500 meters right down into the valleys. This fantastic place, whether you are a World Cup ripper or a brand new nipper, is a great place for you to come and check out the sport of mountain biking and then chill out right next to the lake. So here we are. It is the UCI Mountain Bike World Championships here in Lenzerheide. It's time for the under-23 women's cross country, and I'm Dan Jarvis. I'm joined in the commentary box by legend Bart Brentians. Hi, how you doing, Bart?
I'm pretty well, Dan. Nice to be with you here in the booth and commentary the women under 23 category. I'm looking forward to this race. These youngsters are my favorite categories.
Now, Bart, you know a little bit about the course. You've been round, and obviously you were in the booth for the relay. So it's a. Would you say it's an old school kind of cross-country course?
It's not too difficult. It doesn't have obstacles which are very dangerous or hard to ride for the riders. Everything is good rideable for most of the riders. It has a long climb. It starts already at start-finish and it continues with asphalt to the top. Lenzerheide cliff, that's a famous drop. The dual slalom followed by the Motor X climb, actually, which is an off-camber section with a lot of roots. After that, over here, it's the Mercedes-Benz rock, which is pretty hard to do as well for most of the riders, but it has a beeline, so that makes it easier. Actually, that second loop where they're going into it right now, over there, it's covered by roots everywhere. So if it's wet, it's very hard to ride. And we saw a sprint already in the junior category races yesterday, and it's a great atmosphere around the start-finish area.
Yeah, and it's kind of quite an open curve into the finish, so potentially lines up well for a sprint finish if there are riders together. But we're looking at the start. You might have seen just earlier the weather conditions we got. It's not that hot. It's pretty overcast, which is actually quite nice for the riders. And the riders are currently down in the call-up boxes, getting ready. Marlene Dane, the only rider this year who has beaten Sina Fry in the Mercedes-Benz UCI Mountain Bike World Cup. And who's your tip for today, Bart?
Of course, there are a few favorites. Avi Richards, she's one of them. Of course, Sina Fry from Switzerland. She's very strong. She won the World Cup overall this year. But a few other ones we haven't seen in the 23 category, like Alessandra Keller. Actually, she's participating normally in the elite category. Here she is, also from Switzerland. She might be very strong for the first time participating in this category because she's under 23.
Yeah, and it's kind of just in case people don't understand, the top ranked riders from last year in the under 23 for the Mercedes-Benz Mountain Bike World Cup, they can opt to ride in elites if they want to.
Yeah, it's the top 5 of the women under 23. They have the opportunity to ride in the elite category the year after. And that's what Alessandra Keller did for the last 2 years already.
And she's the only one of this year's crop that's been doing that, but it's paid off. She's been on the podium in the elite races.
She's very strong and she can compete with the best elite women of the world.
Now, Sina Fry, the defending champion, a lot of pressure on her shoulders. She had a phenomenal ride in the team relay. think that she can cope with the pressure here?
She has the defending world champion, and she might be able to do it again. I expect a lot of her. Actually, Sina Frey is my favorite for today's race.
Yeah, she's deceptive, isn't she? Because she's so small, but she's so powerful. She's like an atom. She's just full of energy. Very different to Keller.
It is. Keller, she's a bit taller. Keller very powerful, a good climber as well. But this course, it's a specific course with a lot of roots, rocks, bumpy, not too much climbing, I would say. There's one long climb. But it's, I think, a course which will suit Sina Frey pretty well.
And we've just seen Lucia Ruti there, another rider who's been consistently top 10, but I think it's safe to say that there's been quite a marked gap between the top 3 riders in the World Cup overall standings and everybody else.
It's more like that, what you said. But don't forget, like Ronja Eibel from Germany, she had a really fast lap time in team relay. She did pretty well in La Bresse. And normally that was the first time she reached the podium. So there are always young women coming up, and certainly they are surprising us in races like this, especially at the World Champs.
Just a quick word about the woman on the screen there, Isla Short. Now, it's a pretty amazing ride here because she broke her back here a couple of seasons ago on the Lenzerheide wall. So, I mean, when you've had an injury like that, just how hard is it to come back on the same track?
Yeah, it's always difficult. Definitely something like that's in your mind.
Well, the riders towards the back of the grid are now getting caught up. We've got 52 riders from 24 countries, including a debut at the UCI Mountain Bike World Championships for Botswana. So it's fantastic to see some of these countries coming through. Also, 2 riders from Thailand. So with those guys, they're going to be looking just to maybe stay in contact, do you think?
I think for some of the women it's pretty hard. They would be surprised about the power some of these women can deliver that shortly after the start. Because I think the top 5 of these of this category, they all also could be doing well in the elite category. They're almost the same level.
Yeah.
And normally, if they are last year in the 23, they are that strong as the women elite.
Well, let's be honest about it. That ride that Ronja Eibel put in the relay, she took time out of Yolanda Neff.
That's something
That's
amazing.
not something that everyone does. So just looking back over the last 4 years, Switzerland pretty much dominating. The only woman to break that, Jenny Rissveds from Sweden, who sadly is still not back into the peloton. It's been a tough few years for
Olympic
Jenny.
champion.
Yeah.
So 6 laps for these women. The first lap actually it's a bit different from the other ones. The first time after the start they take the asphalt till the top instead of that small single track if they cross start-finish line.
Well, the dramatic music tells you that we are just into the last minute or so before the race gets underway, and the start, you might not win the race at the start, but it's pretty easy to lose it if you slip a chain. It's a tarmac start, as Bart says. It's a hard chase to come back.
The start is always very hectic and dangerous most of the time too.
I mean,
Riders are close together, wide handlebars. They might touch each other pretty quickly.
the handlebars are way wider, aren't they? Way wider than when you were racing, for example. And also with the single chainring on the front, the chain's under more stress as well.
Yeah, most of the riders are with 12 speed, so it means a small chain, which of course it's not that strong as like when we had in the past, like a 10-speed chainring.
Yeah. Here we go then, into 30 seconds before the race start. Sina Frey just looks completely calm.
From outside.
Yeah, I bet her heartbeat is going through the roof. They're getting ready then. It's a long hold and they're off. It's going to be interesting to see then who can come clear at the start is Isla Short, actually. Isla Short, the Scottish rider in the Great Britain colours, who's hit the front, followed by Evie Richards. And the Italians up there as well. Tiocchi's up there. And actually, Sina Fry is around about 10th place.
Yeah, she is a bit squeezed into this field. Not on the first row. Keller is in the second row. But Fry, she's about 10th place right now. So not a good start for her, these first meters.
Good start from Ido Jonsson, though, the former junior world champion, who's like a mini Jenny Rissvets, isn't she? So, I mean, she looks like Jenny. She rides like her. She's up there in the gold and blue of Sweden. But I think Keller's looking to get out there. But it's Evie Richards, the two-time cyclocross world champion.
Sina Fry, here is coming on the right side of the screen. The number 1 on her number plate.
Yeah, Tovo and Tiocchi both up there. And of course, a little side story to this as well is that a lot of countries looking to qualify for Tokyo 2020. Their scoring riders come from the under-23 category, certainly Switzerland.
Yeah, but Sina Fry, if she's doing races with Jolanda Neff, who is the world champion Women Elite, she can compete with these ladies. She's the same strength as Jolanda Neff is at the moment.
And domestically, she's racing against them week in, week out. There was a little chain problem there by the look of things for Taknot of Australia.
Here they are at the top of that first climb. After that, that's fast, but a dangerous descent, I would say. This morning it was still very slippery. I hope the conditions right now are a bit better, more dry. But still that A-line, what the riders will take after this corner, it's a hard one for most of the women.
Well, Evie Richards shouldn't be fazed by muddy conditions because she is the two-time under-23 cyclocross world champion. She's had some fantastic results in the mud. And you can see riders, if they're prepared to take a risk, they can move up 2 or 3 positions just on that one corner. And it's starting to bottleneck behind. So if you're caught up now, you're out of contention already. So it's Richards, Keller, Fry, and looks like Rafael Garcia from Spain, who has been coming on to some good form late in the season. Eibel, I think.
Yeah, Ronja Eibel from Germany on the 5th place, followed by Marlene Degen from this is Marlene Degen from Denmark.
Yeah,
there she is.
Caroline Boer in front of her. Tiocchi's in there, and Hayley Batten as well from the USA. So a good start from Hayley Batten.
Yeah, on a course like this, you need to have a good start. It's very important. You can see this. The course is wide, but there's only one small line which is the best to ride. And it's very hard to overtake riders if you have to cross the grass, or it's even dangerous sometimes as well for flat tires, crashes.
Well, Richards doesn't look like she is fazed at all by the presence of the 2 Swiss riders close behind her. But Keller's just making a move now, and it's Alessandra Keller who goes to the front. And the thing about Keller, I've noticed from the World Cup races, is that she looks very early on in the race like she's already tired. She's got a riding style that is not the tidiest. It's not smooth, but she's just so powerful.
She is, yeah. She's very concentrated as well for a race like this.
Well,
Keller and Fry together, the 2 Swiss riders.
I'm just wondering if Richards has got a problem there, because she's dropped right back now, and the Danes are going past her, Garcia's going past her, Eibel too, Batten as well. So it looks like there might be a problem for Evie Richards.
Yeah, but in the beginning of the race, right now, every small mistake what you make will cost you several places. But also, like what you said, like a technical problem with shifting, something like that. Taking a corner wrong, it costs immediately some time.
It's so quick on that section as well, isn't it, after the clip? Now, this is what a lot of people were predicting, the 2 Swiss riders hitting the front. Rafael Garcia was probably not a rider that they were expecting to be up in the mix, but she is in there. Malena Dania is in there too. And and this Motor X climb, you can see now, as Bart was saying earlier on, the roots, and there's a problem already for Keller, and that's cost her about 3 or 4 bike lengths on Fry, and it's allowed the others just to close up a little bit. Oh, and that is a big mistake there from Daniel, and she's taken out. And that's let Richards back in.
Yeah, this part, that Motor X climb, how they call it, it's a hard one. It's more like an off-camber section covered by roots. And luckily the roots are not that slippery, not that wet anymore as they have been this morning when we had training times for all the categories. Looks like everything right now, it's pretty good rideable, but still, yeah, you need to have a bit of space in front of you. Otherwise, if the riders are still too close together, they make mistakes pretty easily.
But wow, look at this. Look at the gap that has opened up now. And that, I don't think, is particularly because of an acceleration from Keller and Fry. I think that's the mistake from Malane, who held up the others. And it's now the German, Ronja Eibel, who's coming through.
She is, Marlene Degen.
Yeah. Good ride as well from Caroline Boat, and they're all coming through.
Ivy Richards, like you said, probably she might have a problem or something because she dropped back actually too much from that good start that she had early in the race.
11th place, and more crucially, 20-something seconds behind. And then there's a big bunch of riders coming through around about 40 seconds.
So, but the two Swiss ladies dominating the race in the beginning here of the Women U23 category. Sina Fry, Alessandra Keller.
And we're not going to have team orders like in Formula One here, are we? It's going to be, these two are going to be racing it out against each other, because although they're both in the Swiss colours, they're from different factory teams.
Yeah, different.
They both want to be world champion.
Still, I think they have mentioned a race like this. The coach probably and discussed what we're going to do if it happened like this. What do you think? Isn't it like that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a hard one to call, I guess. But then, of course, the other thing is, Sina Fry's got another year in under 23.
Is she going to do it another year in under 23? That's the question.
But she would get to wear the jersey, whereas
it's good to stay in the same category to wear that jersey for another year.
And I think, certainly from the sponsors' point of view, it's quite a big deal, isn't it, to have the rainbow jersey on the team?
Yeah, but also it's a big deal to win it by yourself.
Yeah, this is true.
I don't think these ladies are thinking about team orders of the national team.
No, it's just gonna. It could well be that these two are just gonna push each other to the absolute limit. Now, it's Haley Batten by the look of things.
Haley Batten looks good.
Yeah, the tall American has moved through into 3rd place ahead of Eibel. Then comes Rocio Garcia.
Followed by Marlene Degen from Denmark. And these ladies, 3, 4, 5 and 6 in a race, closely together.
Yeah, the battle for bronze could be the classic here. But Fry back onto the front, onto the little boardwalk bridge. They'll come through. The crowd has really started to fill out now.
Yeah, it looks like Sina Fry is pushing her really hard. That's the way how she normally is riding as well the World Cups.
Interesting as well. Keller didn't have a bottle for the first part of the race, so
I mean, the conditions right now are not that thirsty. It's not that hot. It's a bit cloudy. Humidity is pretty high. Of course, you need to have your energy. That's important. And like when it's cold and the conditions are pretty cool at the moment, you need to have the sugars to perform well, especially until the end of the race. But after one lap, race time so far almost 9 minutes, so not that much what they have done. And it can take almost 2 times a lap, so 2 feed zones. And it doesn't take that long anymore to cross the second time the feed zone.
Well, Degen's been gapped here, and she's going to be chased down by Tovo, Tioki, Boa, and Lecomte. Then comes Koller, Evie Richards dropping down to 12th there. Von Bersford, 13th. Then it's the former junior world champion Martina Bertha and Lucia Ruti. Then Isla Short, Anna Spielman, and Marchette Dalberman, and then rounding out the top 20 looks like the Belgian
Ida Johnson over there in Sweden. Here she is. Back to the leaders. Fry and Keller. This part is similar to that Motor X climb. A lot of roots over here as well.
You can see though that it's pretty dry in terms of...
That helps a lot to ride these difficult sections. Both riders, they can stay on the bike.
Fry though, because she's a lighter rider, does that give her an advantage over those routes? She can just bounce over?
Keller, she's on a full suspension bike. Fry with a hardtail, if I'm right. I
think most of the season she's been riding a...
Both are hardtail, sorry, I was wrong with that. You see how difficult it is, so Degen, she decided to start walking this section immediately instead of trying it.
Yeah, she's caught back up to Eibel, but Rafael Garcia has got a couple of bike lengths lead. Then comes Tovo, one of the only other riders who's been on the World Cup podium this year. Then Tioki, Boa, Berucci. It's already starting to look like...
So numbers 4, 5, 6 over here. Degen, Eibel, and Tioki.
Now, of course, we'll still have another 5 laps after this, so it's going to be... There's potential for somebody to do a diesel ride and come up through the field. But what sort of gap are we looking at for someone to be able to move up? And
sometimes you can gain back a little bit of time if you are in troubles in the first lap by maybe some mistakes which you already make. But normally the gap's getting bigger during the race, and I don't think that we wouldn't see any difference today. I mean, the first 2 ladies, they are very strong. Keller, most of the time in the women's elite category, finishing close or on the podium, top 5. Sina Frau, she's been dominating the World Cup under 23 this year, winning that title as well. So now these 2 ladies fighting for that jersey.
Well, it's just a little way further back. It's been a good start from Aline Seitz, who started on the 6th row of the grid. She's up to 25th already, another Swiss rider, big surprise. But there's our 2 leaders. They're coming into the arena now. They're going to come over the bridge.
Oh, Keller is on the full suspension. That's what I thought to say at the beginning as well. But she is different bikes.
That's that new Thomas, isn't it, that they've just brought out. And
it's interesting the difference in between these bikes on a course like this. I mean, the course is so bumpy. But also a different style of riding. Fry, of course, is very small women. Keller is a bit taller. Probably a bike like that, full suspension bike, will suit better. Maybe she's used to that as well in the elite category, where the speed normally it's a bit higher, the competition is a bit harder.
Yeah.
And they take the descents on full speed.
Well, this is a solid ride from Hayley Batten. She's 19 seconds down in 3rd place. Garcia in 4th. Then Degen in 5th. Tovo and Eibel. And they are looking like the contenders for the bronze medal at the moment. It is still early days. We've still got 5 laps to go. But these 2 are doing a pretty good tandem ride here right now.
Again, no bottle for Alessandra Keller. I don't know if she has a bottle. She has a bottle with her on the bike. Sometimes even the women don't take the bottle with them. Just have a small drink, throw back the bottle immediately. Actually, this climb already, it starts way earlier than where they are right now. But surely they will enter the asphalt where they are at this moment. And then it's still a long way to the top. And even this venue over here, it's about 1,500 meters above sea level. I mean, it's not a real altitude where you have lack of oxygen, but riders, they will mention that. And even we do, if we walk the course.
Yeah, and we saw, we've seen over the course of the season, when we have gone to altitude venues, so like Val Nord, it can make a difference to the riders. You do get some people who are just better suited.
Yeah, it needs to have a special preparation. Most of the riders, I guess, they came from La Bresse last World Cup 2 weeks ago, immediately to this race, to to this place in Lenzerheide. And I've been here for almost 2 weeks, doing their training, get acclimatized to the conditions, the altitude. So they are very well prepared for the race.
Well, Batten is still there in third, and it looks now like Degen
Just moving up.
Yeah, she's just onto the shoulder of Tovo. No real panic at the moment. She's, of course, the teammate of Sina Fry throughout the most part of the season.
Here with the number 18 from Germany, Ronja Eibel, who did a very good lap time in that team relay.
Yeah, she
when
must
took
be
the silver.
She must be really psychologically boosted by that, because it put them into that silver medal position.
Yeah, definitely it is. But on a course like this, it had a few parts which are very technical. And if a rider in front of you will make a mistake, you have to pay the price for that as well. So you have to be in the right position, especially on these sections. And these riders, they will know after one lap who is good or who is not.
Yeah.
Keller and Fry.
They just look
taking that A line. A very
look a
steep.
different class.
The chasing group. What can they do? Can they close the gap? Haley Batten, followed by Ronja Eibel. Tovo from Italy. Marlene Degen, Denmark.
Rafael Garcia at the back, the Spanish rider. She really started to come on, I would say, in the second half of the season, and it's good to see Spain getting back up.
Yeah, Spain is a great nation
races.
in mountain biking,
but they've been a little bit short of a contender, certainly in the women's for a few seasons. A country though that never runs out of contenders in cross country. Switzerland currently leading then.
They already won the gold medal in the team relay on Wednesday. Yesterday in the junior category had another gold medal, Switzerland.
Yeah, I think that they'd probably be viewing it as a bad World Championships if they don't pick up at least a gold medal today and one tomorrow.
Yolanda Neff.
Yeah,
Nina Schurter.
Could be 2 tomorrow. I mean, in theory, I think, there's the potential for a clean sweep in the men.
Is that possible?
Silver.
Yeah, Matthias Flickiger might.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of Lars Forster, they have a lot of strong riders here in Switzerland.
Yeah.
They have 7 riders in the men elite category. But also for the women's category, they have a bunch of strong women.
Yeah, even if you take Keller out of the mix, they've still got Immergan, they've still got Sternemann.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah.
They have many opportunities.
It is pretty amazing how they do manage to keep turning them out. But at the moment...
But the strange thing for me is they're so strong in cross-country, but not in downhill. I mean, less. I mean, not that dominating as they do in cross-country.
I think that's a good point. If you actually think of, in terms of, if you put it on World Cup wins, World Cup podiums, then Switzerland are nowhere near other nations. But then I always find it amazing that Great Britain is one of the leading downhill nations, and we haven't got anything that
had a lot to do with history or the mentality of the nation.
Yeah, maybe. But then the Netherlands has produced an Olympic mountain bike champion. So
they have strong riders again right now with Van der Poel, but also Anne Tauber in the women elite category. So, and also Van Bernswort, she's women under 23. She's in the top 10 at the moment. So sometimes it takes a bit of time as well to have new talented young riders again.
Yeah, and this is one of the benefits, isn't it, of the under 23 category now, because in the old days we went from juniors to elite, and that was way too big a step up.
Yeah.
Unless
also
you're
like
someone
these
like Van der
days,
Poel.
like yesterday, 110 juniors in that race. But elite categories, it's the same amount of riders. So that it's huge.
Well, was that a little tyre rub between them? It sounded like it might have been. Keller closed the gap right up onto Fry on that corner.
Nothing in between these two.
No. And it
It'll
looks...
be interesting. an interesting race between Fry and Keller.
Well,
but also this chasing group, it's not that far behind this.
Marika Tovo's moved up now. The Italian is now up to third place, I think, ahead of Heavy Batten. Oh, and there's exactly what you're saying. One problem.
Yeah, Garcia off the bike.
And it becomes 3 or 4 bike lanes. Well, it's 40 seconds now, the gap. So they put 20 seconds into the chasers already on this second lap.
Yeah, the chasing group, it's hard for them to stay together on sections like this. Small gaps in between these riders.
That's a good solid ride from Lecomte. Up in 8th and Boer in 9th, and Nicole Poller, who I remember getting good results as a couple of years ago as a first year under 23 here at Lenzerheide.
I think she became world champion, Nicole Poller, in the junior category, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Van Boersvoort just outside the top 10. Tioki, Berta, but crucially, no sign of Evie Richards. So
that's weird actually, because most of the time this year it was Fry and Richford, the Evie Richards in the World Cups.
Yeah.
But right now she had a good start, and what you already said, probably there went something wrong, maybe a technical problem in the beginning of the race. And we don't see anything of her right now.
Well, she's actually dropping down through the field, Evie Richards. Short's gone through in 17th, Marquette in 18th, Blunk in 19th, Giga in 20th, and Richards has not gone through the split. So I've got a feeling we might be seeing a DNF next to Evie Richards' name.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
It looks like she's not in a race anymore.
Well, great ride from Geiger and Seitz, who started on the 6th row there, up there in 20th and 21st place.
But the chasing group is going out of each other. It's Tovo from Italy, third at the moment. Followed by Ronja Eibel from Germany. There are coming fair gaps in between these riders.
Yeah, I mean, they are out of sight now. These two, the Swiss riders at the front, and that is a massive psychological.
And see, they fight hard for their position already that early in the race. They know from each other which place they have to be. Fry.
I do think that maybe 4.5 laps out is a bit far to start your sprint. Maybe.
But it looks like they are sprinting the whole race.
Yeah.
It's that fast as they're going.
Tovo's got the gap now. Eibel, though.
She brought it back.
Yeah.
Looks like that.
And if there's one thing we've seen about Ronja Eibel, she keeps going right the way to the line. So she hasn't given up on a medal yet. And she probably would have had a couple of podiums this year, because she had a big problem in.
She brought it back with about 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's closed it back, that's for sure. For Tovo. Yeah, Eibel would have been on the podium, I think, at Arvstad, but had a mechanical. So she is the dark horse maybe in this race. Batten looks like she's starting to pay the price for trying to give chase, but it's still just over a minute across the top 10. And it looks now.
Keller and Fry together.
Yeah, I just wonder if Keller's going to try and gap her.
The D section doesn't look difficult for these women. But they definitely are. They're very hard to ride.
Well, Sina Fry's got this ability to kind of just float over everything.
She's light. Yeah.
Just lets the bike run.
Looks like she has even traction on the roots.
Yeah, and that's quite a hard.
It is.
Thing to do.
This morning looks like the roots are polished by the tires, which makes them even more slippery than normally.
Well, Tovo is getting tracked, I think, here by Eibel. I think Eibel is going to be back on the Italian's wheel.
But it's good that these two came ahead of the chasing group of 5. Because with 5 riders on a course like this, it's way too hard to ride everything. Now here you can see Ronja Eibel, she can do it by herself if she's on her own.
Yeah, oh, she is going to catch Tova by the look of it, but Garcia doesn't look like she's out of it yet. She's just behind on the climb. She might just come into view as Tovo rounds the top there. There is Garcia. So the Spanish rider is not out of contention yet for the medals.
Well, it looks like Tovo is on a mission. She's not waiting anymore for these other riders, where she has been that previous lap.
She's got the look about her of a climber as well, Tovo. I think
Yeah.
she's got that lean look. You know, some of the riders, Batten is more of a power rider, I think.
It looks like on a course like this you need to be very powerful. I think which Alessandra Keller definitely is. Also when the course is very bumpy, you have to put hard on the pedals to keep your wheels connected with the ground. Otherwise they are jumping around everywhere.
Well, Kyoki has been to take a moment and clip back in. And then it's the next to the Italians, Martina Berta. But the crowd here, we're in a commentary box, but we can feel the noise go up a little bit every time they come into the arena. And again, they're going to be absolutely stuck together as they come under the downhill course, under that little bridge.
There's nothing in between these two. It's hard to say which one is better. I mean, it has several different sections. It has a long climb, it has technical parts, but both are all the time so close together.
Yeah, and it isn't one of these situations where we've seen on some courses where one is better at the climbing, one is better. They're matching each other on every part of the course.
Maybe the length of the race, which probably suits Keller better, like with the women elite, mostly they do one lap more than the 23 category, so she might be a bit strong at the end of the race, but so far nothing in between these two.
Well, we're looking at what is going to be probably about a 1:30 race, something like that, I think. So Tovo still holding that gap in the bronze medal position. Eibel just 5 seconds behind though.
But still the two leaders are moving away.
Yeah.
They gain a little bit of time, a few seconds, but again, faster.
And they'll be getting updates as well from out on the track to let them know where third is.
So also they can see each other on several parts of the track, what we don't see on the camera position. But if you ride the course, you will see it, and these riders know exactly where they are. Even here, if they're taking the single track, they can have a look over their shoulder to the left and see how the other riders look like and where they are.
So interesting to look at the nations making up the top 10. Denmark with 2 riders in there, Switzerland with 2. And it's not that long ago that we'd have seen the French probably challenging as well, but it goes kind of in wave. It seems for every other nation other than Switzerland.
Yeah, if you do have a look to that team relay from last Wednesday, France, which already won 5 gold medals in the past, didn't make it to the podium. So I don't know if that was a sign. Of course, Julien Absalon, probably they're missing a rider like that. But also France, normally it's a very strong nation.
If you looked at it on paper, they maybe the one rider where they were going to lose time was their under-23 woman. But in terms of, it was interesting to see Denmark had become a bit of a specialist nation for the relay as well.
They won silver last year, bronze this year. Probably it means a lot for them. It means a lot for the motivation as a nation as well, for the team spirit.
Well, Eibel has got back onto the wheel of Tovo. So the fight for bronze is back on.
They both look like real climbers.
And it's deceptive as well, isn't it? This tarmac, it's a lot steeper than it looks.
It is.
I thought in the if you saw the relay earlier in the week with going into the final lap and the Australian junior was leading, and
But even better was Nino with Manuel Fumi.
Yeah, Nino and Manu, they came up, and you could see how hard it was from that. But hats off to the Australian junior, because she did try to get onto Nino's wheel for a second.
You're right with that, yeah.
And then thought, no.
No way. For TV, it was good.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we're watching the fight for the bronze medal. And that's between Italy and Germany.
Tovo and Eibel. At the top of the climb, going into the descent. Probably this one is the fastest, the most difficult descent of the course. In the beginning it had a lot of roots, as you can see. But after that it's more wet, more slippery. Followed by a very steep descent to the right, where they are right now. The two Swiss, they have a huge gap, more than a minute almost.
I think they need to be warming up the photo finish camera just in case, the way these two are riding. Just if we look at the timing that we have here, at no point has the gap between the two of them been more than 1 second at any intermediate. That's how evenly matched they've been so far.
But they will put the pressure on each other, if you can see on each moment of the race.
And Sida Fry just kind of, I'm still here, she says to Alessandra Keller. And Keller...
But you see, they are overtaking each other on almost every corner.
Yeah, they do know this.
Every moment.
They've got half the race to go.
Yeah, it is. But they're testing out each other.
It's just... Some of these little rises, that could be where you just get that 2-3 bike lengths lead.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's much easier to follow the rider in front of you instead of taking the lead all the time.
And in terms of this track, I mean, there are opportunities to pass. We can see here going through after the Lenzerheide, but there are opportunities.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities, but sometimes it's even if you are following a rider in front of you, you also know her weakest point on the course. But probably they don't have weak points.
Well, I think you're spot on there, because Tovo just showed her weak point on that route, and it allowed Eibel to come straight back up through the jewel, though, and these two are still so tight together.
But on a section like this, it's important to be in the first position, or you have to slow down a little bit and leave the gap open. But you see, Keller is pushing it hard.
Yeah.
She tries to get away of Frey at this part.
Oh, she's done it a little bit. I think Frey's going to come back though. But you want to ride your line through somewhere like that. You don't want to be pushed into riding somebody else's line.
And if you're in the first position and you will make a mistake, the other rider has to stop anyway.
Yeah.
But if you are in the second place and you make a mistake, then the first rider doesn't.
So if you make a mistake at the front, you want to make as big a mistake as possible to spread yourself over the course. Well, it's the biggest gap we've seen
2 seconds
so far. 2 seconds.
The Frey, she will come back on the easier part of the course.
Tovo coming through. It's all about getting your balance as well, because the wheel can spin so easily.
Yeah. So on sections like this, it's important to have a small gear. You can respond quicker instead of a big gear that you have to push. And these women, they do that pretty nicely. Both on a full suspension bike, which will help them for more traction, also more traction on the rear wheel. It's not only for descending, but it's also for climbing that you have more traction with a full suspension.
Well, we're not seeing it quite so much with the under-23 women, but I think later on, when we see the racing tomorrow, we're going to see a few dropper seat posts as well, do you think?
Most of the riders, they have a dropper seat post too. On a course like this, the descents are not that long. There's one at the end of the asphalt climb. That descent actually is the longest, but you add a lot of Yeah, you add some extra weight to the bike as well, like 250 grams with a dropper seat post.
Well, Keller has got the gap now, but
You're right.
can she hold it?
She's pushing hard, Keller. That's for sure. She wouldn't wait for Fry. Is this a sign?
I mean, my gut tells me that if it comes to a sprint, Keller has the advantage because she's won a short course World Cup this year.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. She has the power as well.
Yeah. And if she was leading it out, how can I put this delicately? She's a bigger rider to get past in a sprint.
But Fry, she's a really fighter.
Yeah. Well,
right now it looks Keller's pushing hard, trying to get away from Fry. It's still early in the race.
Yeah,
not waiting for anything.
We haven't seen too many punctures, have we, in terms of the cross country?
We saw a lot in training, but of course training is different to racing. And they try out different tires as well in training for sure. But mostly in the women's category we don't see, of course, in Labras we saw a lot of flat tires, to be honest.
We saw punctures, we saw unshipped chains, we saw everything, didn't we?
That's true. But I mean the descents here are not that fast and that steep, so because of the speed is not that high in the descents or on the rocky parts, even the pinch flat doesn't happen that quick. What you need to have for pinch flats, like a very fast descent.
Right, Eibel just looks like she's able to come back on those smoother climbs each time. Didn't get a gap coming up on the screen there. Try and...
Yeah, the timing line, it's somewhere over there with the Tissot arches.
Yeah, it looks...
But it's not on screen right now. Then it was 3 and 4 in the race. Italy with
10
Germany.
seconds. It's 10 seconds the gap now.
It's getting bigger.
So Keller has put the pedal to the metal. And now, as we move into the second half of this race, it is going to be about what Sina Fry can do to close that gap. It's locked in together now for the bronze medal battle between Tovo and Eibel. It's going to be interesting to see how big the gap is now back to the leaders. I think it's going to be around about 120 maybe even.
But it's Keller who is in the lead.
And you can see maybe what I was saying earlier in terms of how she sits on the bike. She rolls around quite a bit. She's not, if you look at her compared with Fry, Fry's quite in a fixed position on the bike. Keller kind of rolls around a little bit more.
Yeah, Keller use her upper body a bit as well to push hard.
Yeah.
You see some kinesio tape around her knees. Probably she had a injury, like maybe a small fly off the bike.
Yeah.
That costs a lot of time.
And it's not always the easiest place to get back on. That is a big mistake.
You know when riders getting tired, exhausted, and you have to ride paths like this, they're getting so much more difficult.
Well, it's 107 the gap back from Keller to the bronze medal fight. And
even
then
mentally, it's hard for Fry to get back that right feeling.
And then every time you make a mistake, it's then playing on your mind that, oh, I've lost more time, I've lost more time.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to be strong in your head to win a race.
these two, though, are giving us a really good race for the bronze medal at the moment. Tovo and Eibel. But I think we could still see someone else featuring in here because, just for your interest, Bart, Sophie van Bersvoort of the Netherlands, now up to 8th place. And Eibel, she's having to put the foot down, just breaks the momentum slightly.
Yeah, she's closely behind Tovo. And sometimes even if a rider in front of you slow down what you don't like, or the momentum is there to continue with the speed, and you have to brake. And routes like this will mean you have to get off the bike.
Well, Garcia and Degen are still fighting for 5th and 6th place.
you see Diggin, she decided to run this section all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, what makes her faster.
Yeah, and Kolla there is coming through as well. There's Van Boersvoort. So she's done well. She's now up to 7th place.
Behind the numbers 3 and 4 in the race, actually, there are a lot of opportunities for the riders for a good race as well.
Yeah, and it's okay. You don't get a medal.
Yeah.
But top 10 at the World Championships is a big deal. And for some of these riders, we'll be looking at contract negotiations and things like that as well.
Yeah, but also it depends which age you are in your category. I mean, for the women under 23, if you are the first year under 23, it means you are still you have a few years left in that category and the opportunity to become a world champion the year after. If it's your last year, like Keller is, there's only one chance left.
Oh yeah, so Tovo, Bo, Lecomte, and in terms of those challenges, Eibel, they're all first year. So
that means a lot for them if they can reach the top 10. That's already probably the same feeling as Keller has to winning a title.
Well, 38 seconds the gap now from Keller back to Fry. It's going to be interesting to see if these two have managed to close down the gap to Fry, and if Fry is maybe just a little bit.
She had been blew up in the beginning of the race. Didn't look like that to me actually, but we saw she was making a few mistakes on that road section, which cost a lot of time.
She's still managing to have. She's going to have about 50 seconds or so lead. But it's bridgeable. There's a bridgeable gap now.
Yeah, it's definitely these two together. They will keep on that high speed what they have, and they might be able to close the gap to Fry if they see they're coming closer to that second place.
Yeah, it's just going to depend on whether Fry can get her head back together and get back onto a faster pace to hold them off. But it's looking now like Keller's into time trial mode.
The typical style of Keller, I would say.
She has a strange grip on the bars as well.
I mean, on a climb like this, it's actually a very relaxed position, but definitely if it comes to the descent, she will have a different position with hands.
She quite often though rides with her thumbs kind of tucked up a little bit more.
I think it's just a relaxed position with the arms. So release the arms, the muscles in your arms, and breathing as deep as possible.
Well, no one can say it doesn't work for her.
No. You see here, Fry, she's pulling also on the bars.
Yeah, and the head started to go down a little bit now as well, and the gap is getting bigger.
She knows the strength of Keller.
46 seconds.
She's used to ride in her own as well. Sina Fry.
Yeah.
But not in a chasing position.
Usually she's out the front, yeah.
Keller looks strong in this descent too. Flying over there.
I've been really impressed with how she's been riding in the elites this year.
It is very impressive.
World Cup.
Yeah.
She's been.
It looks like she loves to ride that category too. I mean, it's there's more challenge for her.
Just to remind you, if you want to follow where your own riders might be in the race, you can go on the live timing website. Just go onto the UCI website, uci.org, and then follow the link to the 2018 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships presented by Mercedes-Benz. And the live timing, courtesy of TISO Timing, is right there, and you'll be able to see the splits and where all the riders are. If you're looking for riders further down the race, you'll be able to find out where they are. And of course, you can follow that for all of the races as we go through this weekend.
If I have a look out of the window, it's getting dark outside. Maybe we might expect some rain.
Yeah, because we were forecast rain for the women's downhill qualifying. That held off for the men's. It's held off so far for this race. I wouldn't want to be an under 23 man going out in a couple of hours' time, because I think they are going to get some, but
yeah, it will change the course dramatically to very slippery conditions. Because last night we had a little bit of rain. Yesterday actually the course was very nice and very dry. But last night it was a little bit of rain, and just that little bit already changed the course completely. And this morning it was very slippery in training. Actually the training was only for the elite riders who have their race tomorrow. But right now everything is dry again, and hopefully it stays like this.
Well, Keller is already through the Lenzerheide cliff, and Fry's yet to reach it, so she is stretching out this lead now, Alessandra Keller. One of the other things as well, we talk about the weather changing. If the temperature suddenly drops, can that have an effect on the riders?
Not during the race. I mean, everything is heated already because they are going full speed. The heart rate is almost to the maximum, so they're not. Yeah, rain will affect maybe their body temperature a bit, but most of the time they don't even feel it. But if the rain comes in, it will affect the course. It will be very slippery course. Yeah. Especially these sections where some like Keller is right now will change to very slippery routes.
And then the chosen tyres.
Yeah.
For the drying conditions.
Yeah, so, but I don't think riders, they will change their wheels so quick. Because even when it's wet and slippery, I wouldn't choose muddy tires, because it doesn't become muddy, it just becomes slippery, and a real mud tire even doesn't work on the slippery track.
Just had to correct there, Keller, as she went through that rooty section, but she's okay. We're coming up to the split time as well. This is going to be, I think this is going to be closer to a minute now for Keller. I think she is just riding away from everyone.
Everything in control. It looks really good to me.
Yeah,
no stress for her.
She just looks like she can go on for kilometre after kilometre after kilometre at the same pace. Right?
Yeah, it looks like that. Fry, of course, she's not used to chase a rider in front of her.
No, that's true. I don't think she's had to do it this season.
No.
Other than maybe round
Richards,
one.
Yeah. She was strong most of the World Cups as well, but it was mostly actually Sina Fry was winning the races. And she won the World Cup as well. Defending world champion, women under 23.
Well, it's looking like I think Richards is probably going to be out of contention because she's dropped right down through the field. So one of our early favourites is not there. It is just inside 1 minute now. We got back to Fry and Tova and Idol. Are they still? It's still pretty close between Tova and Idol. And it's going to be the first medal of these championships for Italy if Tova can hold on.
Yeah, good race for Tova so far. Idol, she's closely together with her.
It's only 35 seconds now between Fry and these two. So
I would see the difference between Keller and Fry almost a minute after just one lap when Keller attacked from Fry. She's out of the pedal. Looks like she's back into it. Sina Fry, second place for her at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's one of those hard situations because you'll be disappointed to not be getting the rainbow jersey, but still, silver is still
good.
Still good, but
But you are world champion. You have been world champion.
Exactly. Once you've tasted it, it's kind of hard to go back to.
Yeah.
When you've had fillet steak, it's hard to go back to hamburgers. But
that's how it is.
Yeah.
But still, maybe she has to respect the strength of Alessandra Keller.
Well, it's now it's just over a minute on the virtual tracker there. Keller is just pushing at every opportunity. She's gone through the split.
Keller could be an outsider for the Women Elite race as well if she should participate in that category. She finished a few times on the podium, but also like the short track, what she won in Andorra, what you said, that was something impressive.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bet against her racing the elites and getting a medal. I think she would have been one of my potential clean sweep riders for Switzerland. But she's in this under-23 race and she is leading Sinna Frey, her compatriot, and Sinna is going to be she's going to have lost a few more seconds. It's going to be 1:10, something like that, as she goes through the pits, getting the bottle, grits the teeth. It is 1:10.
She's not giving up. She's still pushing hard. Even it's a second place.
Keller, though, is just attacking everything. You see from her body language that everything is being hit as.
And especially these sections over here. Keller, she can slow down a little bit in front of it, so she can recover a little bit, and that helps her to take them a bit easier.
It's 28 seconds now, the gap. So
looks like they're coming back for that silver medal.
I think it could be, and that would be, I think, a shame for Sinna Frey if she gets caught here, because she's tried to animate the race, that's for sure.
But the gap gets smaller between Frey and Tofu together with Eibel.
Yeah, and if Tova and Eibel can see her, then that's going to spur them on as well, isn't it? Looks like Degen is now.
Degen followed by
5th.
Bernsworth from Netherlands. Looks like that's her.
Yeah, this is a great ride from her.
Good ride for her.
Moving up from the 3rd row and storming through. That looks like it's Rocío García ahead of Bull. So they're about 50 seconds back from the battle for the medals. So
can Sinna Frey stay here as she is, 2nd place, silver medal for her. She has to push hard. These two are coming close to her. 28 seconds. Whoa! Small mistake, and you see how slippery the woods are.
That could have been worse, actually, because she
potentially. It's amazing how they recover from almost a crash.
She's again, it's like we saw with Frey. She's just lost her concentration a little bit, just panicking slightly, and that's let Eibel get back up onto the wheel. But she was kind of lucky there because she could have slammed herself into the bars. I think we'll see it again.
It's important for Eibel as well. She knows she has to be in that 1st position. Probably she can do it. She can. Eibel, she's able to ride this part, I guess. Yeah. If she's in the 1st position. But right here, you see the rear wheel is sliding again. And also Ronja Eibel, she has to get off the bike, which costs a lot of time, actually.
Well, back into the arena, and this time she's all alone. Keller coming through the tunnel.
Yeah, what a ride for Keller so far. Impressive. You know she's strong with what she showed right now. It's amazing.
For me, she's been the rider of the season almost in the cross country, because she's been riding up a category. She's been challenging. Okay, she hasn't picked up a win in the XCO, but she's picked up a win in the short course, and she's not phased at all. At no point has she looked out of place. Well, she's going to stretch this lead out for sure.
Must have been a great feeling for her riding here, hometown soil. So many spectators on the side. It will motivate her.
And there's not that many riders that actually get that opportunity to ride at World Championships in front of the home crowd. You never got to. You never got to do it.
We never had one.
No. And
Switzerland already the third time, isn't it?
Yeah.
World Championships here.
the Canadians have had a fair few cracks at riding in front of the home crowd. That's for true. And of course, we'll be back there for a historic return to Mont-Saint-Anne
Next year.
Yeah. That's going to be the third.
It's a classic race.
Fourth World, but
Beautiful course.
The 30th ever edition of the UCI Mountain Bike World Championships. It'll be the second one, presented by Mercedes-Benz. 1:17 now the gap for Keleta Frey, and this is crucial now. I think she's held the gap here. Right, it was 28 seconds, so she's actually just opened it up a little bit. That could be that these two are just watching each other. Plus, they had that little mistake in the woods.
Yeah, the 30 seconds between Frey and Toffel together with Eibel. A typical style of Keller. Low on the bike.
Yeah. It's like you said as well, she kind of uses all of her body to push through the bike and get as much power through.
Yeah, each style of a rider is different. But also plenty support for Sina Frey, of course. From Switzerland too. Silver for Frey at the moment.
She can hold that gap. I think 28 seconds going into the last lap might be enough. It's just to see if the chasers Tovo and
nothing goes wrong technically.
Tovo and Eibel.
That's always an issue in a mountain bike. I mean, we have 2 tech zones, but still, everything has to go perfect. The bike has to be in the perfect condition. And like a wheel change costs already like 30 seconds if you do it on the right way.
And there's a lot of technical sections between the tech zones as well, so you can lose. They're not. It's not like there are sections that are easy to run or scoot the bike to get to the tech zone.
No, it is. If you have a flat tire on the wrong moment, it will take a lot of time.
And of course, if people out there aren't familiar with the situation, if you get a mechanical or a flat just after the tech zone, you can't go back.
No,
you've
never.
got to go all the way around.
You can't go back. You always have to move forwards. But most of the time, tech feed zones are placed on the right spots of the course. But you never know. It might happen in each moment.
Well, let's just give you a quick recap of the top 10. Keller leading, Frey, Tovo, Eibel, Bo, Von Borsfort, Degen, Garcia, Collar and Lecomte. So Degen has dropped down.
Yeah, Evie Richards, we don't know what happened with her, but normally we expect her more closely to a podium position, but probably she's out of the race.
Yeah, she's a DNF, and we've got quite a few riders getting caught up by the 80% rule. Both the riders from Thailand are out. Our rider from Botswana, Ebedilweli, is out, but they'll still get a finish position, won't they? Because if you're lapped, you get a position. If you pull out of the race, you don't.
It is like that. It's an 80% rule. It means if you are too far behind the leaders and they are able to overtake you, you have to get out of the race. And there's an official point for that with some marshals taking you out of the race. Sina Frey, second place for her. Ella was in the lead. With the numbers 3 and 4. They're not that far behind her.
I think this next split's going to be the important one, because Fry does look to me like she's starting to feel it a little bit. She's starting to just grimace slightly. She's going through. Keller is just smashing it to bits now.
It leaves a little bit of time for Keller here on sections like this to relax, get their energy back, give everything again on sections like this, which are very difficult to ride. But no problem for her so far. When it comes to the end of the race, actually that's impressive how riders can stay on the bike and recover from a wheel spin, as she did, almost surplus and then start again.
It was almost
on the slippery parts.
Almost a track stand.
It is.
Situation.
Yeah. So Tovo and Eibel.
So we've just got a little gap. Oh, they are. I think they are closing in on Fry.
Yeah, there are a few turns, but
20 seconds,
it's 30
maybe.
seconds, yeah, at the previous split time start-finish line.
I have to say, just going back as well to the team relay, one of the things that impressed me particularly about the Swiss was that they managed to stop the clock on 1 hour exactly.
Swiss timing.
Swiss timing at its best.
Even this split time I like to see as well. 1:01:11.
Yeah, it's nice and kind of, it flows nicely. Well, Cena's coming up to the split.
Different lines.
Totally different line. She takes the low line.
Actually, that section over there is pretty wide. Many lines what the riders can choose, but actually there's only one, which is the best.
Yeah, it's interesting sometimes when you see these courses. They're designed, aren't they, to have multiple lines. They want, we want this, but actually the riders all know.
Yeah, they'll know. Yeah.
Which one.
Yeah.
And they all stick to it.
Yeah. It gives you opportunity to overtake each other on sections like this.
Yeah, I think that's the crucial thing here as well, isn't it? That if there are some problems, you can just pick your way around someone. So 1:21 the gap now, so another 4 seconds gained by Keller over Fry. Tobo looks like she has gone clear now, but I would say, out of all of them, she's the least convincing on the technical section. She's had 4 or 5 moments where she's hooked up.
Especially when they're getting exhausted to the end of the race. You're going to make mistakes more and more.
Well, it's still 30 seconds, so it's still good for Sina Fry.
Eibel a bit further down to Tovo. 4th place for Eibel.
And she started from back on the 3rd row, so certainly riding better than her ranking would suggest. But if you go back over the results of this season, then she's one of those that we expected to be in the mix.
Yeah, most of the time when the last World Cup, it's about 2 weeks ago. If riders perform well over there, mostly they do also good at the Worlds.
And Le Bresse was not an easy World Cup, was it?
No,
I mean, that was
definitely not.
That was a super tough track.
And it's Keller, who's in the winning mood, taking a bottle.
So there'll be
backup bottle as well.
There'll be one of water, maybe, and one of with a slightly higher concentration.
Yeah, normally it is when the temperature is high and the conditions are warm. The second bottle, most of the time, it's water. Right now, it seems to be both bottles or something with some energy into it. I don't think that they are drinking just water. I mean, just water in these conditions, I wouldn't prefer.
Not doing the Team Sky thing of, what do they call it, rocket fuel for the last few Ks on a stage.
I mean, it will help for mountain biking too if it comes to a last lap and an extra boost with some caffeine, some sugars. That might help.
Just looking back now, was there a problem for Fry? No, it's just
on the edge.
Showing. That's that rock though. The
Mercedes-Benz.
The Mercedes-Benz rock. That's quite daunting, isn't it? When you see it, it's.
Yeah, you have to ride over the ridge actually, and if you are on that top, you feel you are almost in the air, and then there's a big drop going down.
Well, Sinner Fry is going to be heading towards the next checkpoint. Keller is just looking serene at the moment. It's gone out again. She's lost another 4 seconds. So Keller is running away from everybody now. Has a little look across. The first time, I think, that Fry's had a look across just to see where Tovo might be. I think she's still. Oh, it's 20 seconds. So she's taking that 10 seconds.
That's a lot.
Tovo.
If she's on a mission and now she's on her own in the third place, we saw that in the previous lap too. There's some sections which suit Tovo really well. It looks like that's between split time 1 and 2.
And it looks like she's managed to get rid of Idle now. That 15-second gap opened up pretty quickly.
Idle on fourth. 2 minutes, 15 seconds for bronze.
I think we're looking for probably another minute or so back to 5th place. So it is now looking like the medalists are going to come from these 4. In theory, from the top 3, unless one of them has a pretty catastrophic mechanical. Or completely blows up. That's not looking on the cards just yet.
20 seconds is not that much.
Well,
on a climb, 20 seconds you easily can see. So, and if Tovo can see Fry in front of her, it will motivate so much to catch her.
Well, the crucial thing on this lap now is Tovo's got to ride those routes absolutely clean.
Yeah.
Because
right,
otherwise, Fry was smooth through there. Still plenty of encouragement though for Sina Fry. And it looks like Tovo did.
She did it.
Did it this time? Maybe it was just the thought that Ibel was right behind it. It was just slightly off-putting.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off a little bit, so she can relax a little bit more before these routes.
I think that might be a little bit less than 20 seconds now.
Wanya Ibel, 4th place for her. Small gear, high cadence on this section. Actually, this is a pretty hard section as well. It doesn't look like a steep climb, but they will feel it.
Oh. This is even this climb up to the finish. Again, as you look at it on the screen, it looks pretty much flat. It isn't. It's a climb.
If it comes to a sprint, I mean, it's a hard sprint. It's slightly uphill.
Yeah, for sure. But
last lap,
Keller now. It's a 1-lap time trial to glory now. The rainbow jersey and the gold medal are just a matter of minutes away now from Alessandra Keller.
Taking this difficult route section with a full suspension bike. Let's see how slippery it is, especially this descent. Soft tires, which
just trying
affect
to
a lot
as
for some extra grip, especially on the routes as well. Another bottle for her. Not taking the water.
So yeah, about 13 minutes of agony left for Alessandra Keller before the ecstasy starts. Here comes Sina Fry then over the rampant yeah. That's some welcome into the arena, but it's going to be, I would say, about 1:30 here, the gap.
It's going to be a hard lap for Sina Frey.
Oh, she's kept it at 1:24, so she hasn't lost any more time on that second part, that last loop of the course. But Tovo, she is just 20 seconds behind.
Same, 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's
with that previous split time.
So it's all, I think, going to probably come on this first half of the course if Tovo is going to be able to overhaul Frey. I don't think there's enough opportunity from when they go through the technical zone the second time to actually get back 20 seconds. And now it's 23 seconds back to Eibel. So I think Eibel is out of contention for the medals now.
Sina Frey, second place for her at the moment. Actually, the ground between the roots is gone, so the hole is getting bigger. It's even more difficult to ride these sections.
So, I mean, later on today we've got the U23 men, and in that race there's going to be just short of 100 riders on the track. So by the time we get to the elites tomorrow, that's going to have changed completely from what they were practicing today, isn't it?
Yeah, they will ruin the course actually, but that's always at the World Championships where you have so many different categories, so many riders on the course, and they have done a lot of training on the course. Sometimes the course is getting better, but sections like this, they're getting worse.
Yeah. And once the rocks start to come in, you've only got to knock out a rock on the way down, and suddenly it creates a 10 centimetre, 15 centimetre hole that wasn't there before.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, even like braking bumps you will get, but in downhill it's even more.
Well, Sina Frey has not given up the fight just yet.
Oh, she's a real fighter, Frey.
But Keller. Pushing all the time. And it's back what I was saying early on. You know, she's looked like this right from the start, and now the fatigue's starting to come in, but that's her riding style. She looks like she's tired right from the start.
But she can play with that a little bit. I mean, more than a minute. There's some time to lose. I mean, there's still a huge gap that she has on Frey.
And you can see, you might have just seen in the red and black top, one of the Swiss coaching staff, they'll be running across at every point they can just to update them on time. And
on a course like this, it's pretty difficult. It's not made to see the riders on that many places, but they might have different coaches with connections, mobile connections.
Stopwatch going in.
Tovo on 3, bronze.
And she's looking safe in bronze.
20 seconds at the start-finish line it has been. Marika Tovo from Italy.
Another rider opting for the full suspension option.
Sina Frey, she's with the hardtail, but also Alessandra Keller, she's with the full suspension bike. Got first place. Back over her shoulder. Quick look.
The mic just picking up the breathing as well, starting to breathe a little bit hard. But she's only got about half a lap to go, just over that, to get home, get on the podium in second place. So Keller's going to be coming through the Lenzerheide cliff. No, sorry, she's been through. This is Frey coming through, waiting for the time gap. It's Keller on the slalom.
And now probably the most difficult part of the course. The Motorex climb.
And if you did hook up maybe twice on here, then your 1 minute advantage could be severely reduced. But she's got it perfect by the look of things this time.
She's in great shape. I'm probably fully focused for this moment, this time of the year. Most of the time, riders they prepare themselves really well for a World Championships race, doing some extra training, sometimes altitude training. Of course, it's so worth going away over here with a jersey with that rainbow stripes. That's something special.
And once you've got that, of course, no one can ever take away the fact you can wear the stripes on your
sleeves,
on your collar and your sleeves, and
you are a world champion forever. And these moments you will recognize forever.
And of course, to do it here in front of the Swiss crowds,
that's even more special.
And it's a big Swiss crowd as well. I've got to say, you know, we're here on a Friday, but it's good 2 or 3 people deep on a lot of sections of the course. Oh, a little problem for Sinner.
20 seconds to Tovo, Rika Tovo from Italy, who's third. Fry in the second place.
Back onto the gas there.
It's amazing how quick they can respond after a small mistake that they have done.
If you're in the lower gear, it's a little bit easier, isn't it, to get it going again. But it's going to be... Oh, she's just shaved a couple of seconds. I think that might be Keller easing off slightly, though.
Looks like that. There's time for that.
Yeah, she can just not push too hard, not make any mistakes.
Fry knows that Tovo is not that far behind her, so she has to push pretty hard even that last lap.
I think she's opened it up, though. She's increased her lead over Tovo. 26 seconds now. So that's a little bit healthier.
This part to the next split time suits Tovo really well. She gained back 10 seconds in that previous lap to Sina Fry.
Yeah. So
let's see if she can do it again.
Well, it could make that last little loop of the course very exciting indeed if she closes that gap to 15 seconds maybe. But Sina Fry fighting all the way here.
Yeah, the numbers 1 and 2 in the race from Switzerland. Home soil race for them. But the question is Fry happy with that silver? After winning gold last year?
I'm not sure because Keller, of course, was behind Fry in that race. So, Tovo, she's trying to close that gap still.
Yeah, still a bit. That corner.
It's quite deceptive, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
This section, it's a lot longer than you might first think. And it's not super smooth, so you can build up the speed. Keller through the pits the last time. She'll have got a big cheer from her mechanics and their soigneurs there.
That second loop is not that far anymore. Mostly it's a fast loop. I wouldn't say it's completely a descent, but it feels like that it's more descending compared to uphill.
Where is Tovo?
Each lap has 188 meters of climbing, but a lot of climbs, a lot of small climbs actually, where you can carry on the speed from the descent. Tovo, third from Italy.
I don't think she's going to close this gap now, Tovo. I think she is riding for bronze right now, but it'll be a fantastic result for Tovo. One of the only riders who's managed to get on the podium alongside Sina Fry in the Mercedes-Benz UCI Mountain Bike World Cup.
Alessandra Keller taking that Mercedes-Benz rock.
And this is where you've still got to stay focused, because you know you're so close to the finish. You know you've got a gap. You don't want to take your mind, you don't want to start thinking about that medal going around your neck until you've got through this technical section.
It looks like she's going to make it again on her bike.
Yeah, it's been a masterclass from Keller, really. 20 seconds, the gap between Fry and Tovo. So she wasn't able to take enough back, I don't think, to close in on Fry.
Waiting for Sina Fry. Waiting for Alessandra Keller.
What we don't want is some dramatic appearing out of the woods with a wheel in their hand or something. Nothing like that.
Second place, Sina Fry. Almost there.
Still 20 seconds. Well, the flags are starting to wave down here. The Swiss flags. They're getting ready for their heroine to come into the arena. Here she comes, as we're watching Fry on the screen, but I can tell you for the cheers here in the finish, Keller is heading towards the arena.
Marika Tovo from Italy on the third place, bronze medal for her. Fry, second. Not that far anymore for these women. Marika Tovo. Last time this hard section over here, off the bike.
Oh, and that's her chance of closing in on the silver. That has definitely gone now. She's got a big gap though, back to Eivel. 40 seconds her advantage over the German in fourth place. So Tovo should still be safe for the bronze medal. But we're looking, we've gone live now to the front. The smile is on the face now of Alessandra Keller. It's a huge smile on her face as she comes into the arena. It's going to be an opportunity to high-five her way up the finish straight, I think, here. Some huge ovation for what has been a fantastic ride. So the 2018 UCI Mountain Bike World Champion from Switzerland, Alessandra Keller, takes the under-23 women's title.
The way she did it was great to see.
Yeah, she totally deserves that. Big smile on her face. There's hugs all around, but Ralph Neff there, the former world champ, the team principal of Alessandra Keller's trade team. He gets a hug. Sina Fry now. Be interesting to see if there's a smile on her face as she comes in.
Silver medal for Switzerland as well. I think she's happy with that.
I think she will be.
Defending world champion. She lost to Jersey. Keller, the new world champion, but
you
I
can't
think they have respect for each other.
You can't say that she hasn't lost it. Keller's won it. That's the
like
thing.
that. Yeah.
And it's a massive, massive welcome for the diminutive rider from Switzerland. She takes silver. 1:22 the gap at the end.
Not really happy. Looks like that. But of course.
That's what makes champions though.
Yeah,
Tovo.
That's the mentality of a winner as well.
Closed the gap at the end. She can't quite believe it. She's got the bronze medal. Now she is happy.
She is happy.
And exhausted. But a great ride from Marika Tovo. Ronja Eivel Gonna take 4th place. Tried to push them early on in the race.
Yeah, she has been fighting hard for that bronze medal with Marika Tova, but she lost it. 4th place. She just missed the podium. But she's young.
Yeah, what?
Plenty of chances for her.
Tova and Eibel, both first-year under-23 riders, so you know they've got the chance to challenge again. Of course,
so they will see each other a couple of times more.
Fry's got the opportunity to come back and get her jersey back, because Keller will be going up to. She'll be in the elite. Well, she's been racing elites, but she will be in elite next season.
4th place for Ronja Eibel.
It's one of those where you just, I guess 4th place, you think, what could I have done to have got back up there? But it's going to be the Bull.
Caroline Beu, yeah, Beu.
Yeah, who is the number 2 Dane, let's say. But you know, again, she's
finished before Marlene Degen.
She's been a very good junior. Very, very good junior, and she's happy with this, I think. Again, first year under-23 rider, so we're going to have some battles next year by the look of it. Big smile on her face for 5th place, and could be a good finish for the Dutch here coming up. I think Van Bersvoort.
Van Bersvoort, yeah. Might be possible. We haven't seen that much of her the last couple of laps, and because of Alessandra Keller, who took the win, that's why.
Yeah, to have that opportunity as well in the finish, that to celebrate, that is a lovely opportunity. Here is Van Bersvoort.
5th place for Sophie van Bersvoort.
She looks pretty happy with that as well. Especially from a start number 17, so that's moving up. Rafael Garcia as well, another rider who was very active in the early part of the race. And she'll come in for 7th. Oh, and a finish with style as well. Bonus points for the Spaniard.
That's been a hard race.
Yeah. I love it. The wheelies and then think about being sick. That's the 2 things that I mind.
Lene Degen from Denmark.
Yeah.
2nd Danish rider.
So some of the pre-race favourites for medals not quite firing on all cylinders. Degen 8th place, yeah, but she would have been anticipating a podium position, I would have thought. And of course, Evie Richards, a non-finisher.
Joel Koller from Switzerland coming in.
Well, three Swiss in the top 9. And it's going to be Lecomte for 10th place, Lorna Lecomte.
The first French rider, 10th place.
It's been so tough though. I mean, we're looking at 5.5 minutes across the top 10. That's a
big gaps in between the
gaps,
riders. Yeah. So it seems to be a hard course.
And just looking down through the intermediates. Well, we've got the winner coming in here, Alessandra Keller, and we're going to be hearing from her, the new UCI Under-23 Women's World Champion.
Congratulations, Alexander. What an incredible ride today. We've seen you crossing the line in front of your home crowd, pushed by the speaker, by the fans. How does it feel?
I don't know, it's like there's no words. The crowd was amazing. It was super loud. They were cheering for me. So many friends in this area, and everyone went here. And it's a big dream to finish Worlds. There was unluck last year with my crash. I was sick at Europeans, and it's just a dream that comes through. And yeah, I don't know, it's the top of this season. I already had the Super World Cup season, and the world title in U23 is just a dream that comes through. And yeah, there's no words.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. Well done. Good job. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No better moment for her to win that world champion jersey than doing it in your own country.
Oh, for sure. I think, and as she said, you know, in terms of championships, she's maybe not had the luck in recent years.
I think it has to be perfect in a race like this, on a moment like this. Only one day a year. Physically you have to be fit, but also technically everything has to go right. What she said, a small crash last year in the World Championships, and but this year everything went well. And she was actually, I wouldn't say dominating the race, but it didn't take that long, and she was dominating the race. Sina Frey, of course, she was strong as well. She finished second, but Alessandra Keller was strong, and she knows as well. She did really well in the elite category already in the World Cups this year. She is also a strong rider, finishing podiums. Now she became a world champion.
So here's the confirmation of the top 10. Keller taking the win, 122, her advantage in the end over Sina Frey. Marika Tovo takes the bronze for Italy, their first medal of this World Championships. Eibel in fourth, and then dropping through, looking at some of the positions there. And we've got a few riders still to come in. So lapped riders going through. So
it has been a hard race for many of the riders.
Yeah, for sure. So
Marika Tovo from Italy finished third, bronze medal for her.
yeah, you can see she's using the dropper post there as well, wasn't she, on the descents? And Sina Frey,
Second place, silver medal. She was fighting hard in the beginning. Couldn't win from another Swiss lady.
yeah, in the end there was no beating this woman. Alessandra Keller just had the power when it was needed and the control on the technical sections.
She took the gold medal and the rainbow jersey. A big smile.
Oh, for sure. So a little bit of calm descends onto the arena as the riders still coming home for the positions. And it's really important. It's, as we were saying earlier, you know, it's points, it's UCI points, it's contract negotiations, it's also just your own kind of mental.
Yeah, there's more than only just 3 medals what riders can get in a race like this. But of course, it depends also the way how you start a race. I mean, if you see the expression of Frey crossing the line is different from the winner. Even second place, I wouldn't say it's a bad result anyway. But if you start a race or if you lost your jersey, it's a different feeling. You can see it here as well.
Yeah, that's a disappointed face, I would say.
But you have to respect your colleague, your Alessandra Keller, who won it. She was very powerful today, very strong.
I think it's starting to settle in now. Yeah,
slowly.
Yeah. You look at though physically the difference as well. You know, Keller, one of the taller riders in the field.
It looks like it's a bit cold for these ladies after the race.
Yeah,
There's not that much time to dress themselves in their new, clean, dry clothing.
Get your long sleeve top on over the top at least. So the fanfare playing. And of course, very traditional, the world's podium. 3 riders, not like the World Cup with 5. It is your medalists. And already, I think the celebrations are starting. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but there's going to be tears. There's going to be tears when the anthem plays. Oh, there's going to be tears from Marika Tova as well. A fantastic ride from her.
It's the first year Women U23 bronze medal. It's a good start.
And a podium in the World Cup already.
So we might expect more of her in the future.
Oh, the smile's there now.
Smile is back.
Yeah, and she can take comfort in the fact that she's only lending the jersey to Alessandra Keller. She can be going out to get that next year.
She had a great season. Winning that World Cup.
So close actually to almost a clean sweep of the World Cup. But this woman has been the rider of the day.
Alessandra Keller, Switzerland!
What's it like? You've been world champion. What's it like, that moment when you step up there? Does it sink in? Do you really appreciate what you've done at that moment, or does it take a little while?
It takes a little while. Yeah, especially the time afterwards. You have to do so many things, interviews. You don't realize actually what you have done.
Well, that is your 2018 UCI Mountain Bike World Champion. So they'll be going straight for the press conferences.
Yep.
And then they've still got the doping.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to do for these ladies.
It's not quite as romantic as you might think.
No, maybe tomorrow when they awake, tomorrow morning, then they realize we had a good race yesterday.
Yeah. Did you sleep in your rainbow jersey when you got?
I didn't sleep in it. No.
I think you would struggle to get that off me if I did that.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I please ask you to stand?
So, the Swiss national anthem is going to play yet again here in Lenzerheide.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause.
So, the under-23 women's podium, Marika Tovo, Sina Fry, and the new world champion, resplendent in a rainbow jersey, Alessandra Keller of Switzerland. So Switzerland now streaking clear on the medals table now. That's world. That's gold number 3.
Impressive what they are doing here. But probably will even more after the weekend.
I think it'd be.
Surely we will see men under 23. They start at 4:30.
Yeah, and Filippo Colombo, he's got a chance.
He has definitely a chance to win.
Our champions today.
But there are more.
I
That
think.
category, it's wide open.
I think, yeah, if you join us later on with the coverage, you're going to see a cracking race because potentially any one of about 15 guys could win. And of course, Sam Gaze, the last year's champion, moving up. So we're going to have a new world champion. So it's time for the obligatory biting the medal photograph. Looks like Sina's starting to be a little more happy with the silver medal.
You're right, yeah. See her smile back on her face. Well, why not? Winning a silver medal.
And of course, Fry and Keller, they are they're significant point scorers in Switzerland's pursuit of qualifying positions for Tokyo 2020. So that'll be a good point score for them as well.
It is, and especially in Switzerland, and it doesn't matter that much if you are male or female to qualify for the Olympics. I would say it's a hard job.
Yeah.
Much harder than many other countries.
So if they get just to explain the way in which it's set up, the top 2 nations in the rankings, they will get 3 riders, won't they? So
in the women's category.
yeah, so potentially we could be seeing 2 of the 3 that are going to 2020 right now.
Yeah, I think more like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Linda Indergan or Catherine Stiernemann, of course. Lana Neff, I wouldn't say she's already qualified, but she's together with these 2 ladies, probably the top 3 who will get qualified.
So we hope you've enjoyed this race. It has been fast and furious right from the start, and some of our early leaders, Evie Richards, took it out right from the start but dropped round through the field, and then 2 riders going clear, 2 Swiss riders, Keller and Fry. Plenty of thrills and spills further down.
You see how difficult the course has been and still is, also for the men under 23 which are coming up later. It's a hard course, it's a technical course. And to perform well in these conditions, it's very hard.
That was Sina Fry having a little problem there, but Keller didn't have any problems at all. Comes home to take the victory.
And a sweet one.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the final confirmation of the top 10. Alessandra Keller taking the win. Sina Fry silver. Marika Tovo in bronze. Some good rides further down. Great ride from Sevilla Blanc of the USA. She came right up to 13th place. And Emily Unterberger as well. Those Canadians, I don't know how the Canadians are doing it, but they're bringing through a lot of good riders.
Yeah, I think the conditions here with so many routes on the track suits the Canadian pretty well. They're used to that as well, to ride in the conditions like this.
And they've also they've got quite a good development program going on as well, haven't they? So
They brought a big team over here.
Yeah, I find it quite interesting when you look at some of the nations that travel. The Aussies have got quite a big team as well, and actually some European countries not quite so much.
Yeah, it's weird actually. Some of the Olympic committees spending a lot of money into the sport, and some they don't.
That's it.
So at 4:30 the Men U23 will start, and also live here on the UCI YouTube channel.
So thanks for joining us. Dan Jarvis and Bart Brentjen signing out for now, but join us later for more action from the 2018 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships.